Today a bad news reached the police department. Avinash and Soya were police officers. They got the news that a massacre has happened in the village of Gasinan in the nearby forest. When Avinash and Soya reach Gasinan village, they find dead bodies in every house. There was no one who was left alive in that village except a child. Avinash sees him and calls him to himself. Avinash and Soya had only one question in their minds: how can someone do such a manly thing? No one in this village saved him except this child. I cannot keep him here alone. Okay, we will take him home until we find out about his parents. Avinash and Soya name the child Arif and take him home. But they did not know that the massacre in Gasinan village happened because of Arif's crying. Avinash and his two close friends Shilpa and Mohit tell both of them about Avinash and Arif and that they have adopted Arif. Is that crazy? Really? What a thing! From today I have two friends. Children are being adopted. Wow! Shilpa and Mohit meet Arif, who is 7 years old. Shilpa feels something strange after seeing him. Shilpa sees that there were two pupils in his eyes. Avinash and Soya bring Shilpa and Mohit out, and Arrow also comes out with them. Just then, on the way, Arif gets a bite on his leg and he starts crying. Yes! Ah, it's okay, son. We keep getting hurt like this. Avinash was trying to calm Arif down. Shilpa was on the road for a taxi when a truck comes and hits Shilpa. Shilpa died on the spot. The truck driver also dies. Mohit was surprised. Avinash went into deep thought and started looking at his son Arif. Due to all these incidents, Arif starts crying even more. Mohit was about to see Shilpa when a nearby electricity pole falls on Mohit. Avinash understands and says to Arif, "Take Arif inside. I feel something fishy." Okay. Due to so many incidents happening together, Avinash understood that it is Arif who is responsible for so many deaths because there was no clear reason for any death in the Gasinan murder case. So many incidents were pointing to one place, the Black Shadow, and such incidents. Now, because of what happened with Avinash and Zoya too, Avinash understood that it is Arif who is causing people's deaths. As soon as Arif started crying, all these incidents happened with Prahlad and Mohit. So it is possible that Arif is behind this. We have to find out about this. Avinash and Arif take full care that Arif does not cry. Both of them go to Arif's old house in Gasinan village so that they can know why people are dying due to Arif's crying. As soon as they enter the house, they start feeling suffocated. There were many black spots there. Arif used to live with his grandmother. They both start searching the house to find out something about him. Then Soya sees a box. She opens the box and sees that there is a letter in the box. She takes out the letter and writes on the first page of the letter, "Don't let me cry or else death will come." She starts the letter. In this letter, I am writing about my mistakes. I was making so many mistakes every day because of which my son and daughter-in-law both died. My back was bending with age. I did not want to die. I used to do black magic in the village. Then I came to know about a ritual in a book which will make me young, which will fill my bones with life once again, which will make my face bloom again. But in that ritual, I will not have to sacrifice something that is close to me. Then I was thinking, who is closest to me? If I have to become young again, then I will have to sacrifice him. One day my son and his daughter-in-law came home. "Ma, when did you do this black magic?" "Today again you are sitting with this book of black magic open." "Ma, why do you need to do black magic? You have 2 meals a day and a roof to live under." "You both are right." That day I closed my book, but one day my son and daughter-in-law had gone out at night and Arif was alone in the house with me. Once again I opened that book and started preparing for the raisum. I took it out from my trunk and placed it in the middle of the rasum and cut my thumb with a dagger. I had kept many black dias with blood there. Now I just wanted to sacrifice Arif. I was chanting, but in between Arif started crying. "Sir, what are you doing, grandmother?" The ritual was broken due to Arif's crying, and I saw a black shadow going inside Arif. Arif started crying louder, and an earthquake came in the village, and I saw that everyone was dead. The whole village was dead. The whole village was destroyed due to the ritual being wrong. My son and daughter-in-law were also dead because they were also in the same village. It was all my fault. Whatever this story is, whenever my grandson cries, someone will die. If we want to stop this, then we have to go to the cave and meet a black magic tantric. Only she can tell the solution to cure Arif. Hearing this letter, Soya's heart beats loudly. She also tells all these things to Avinash, after listening to which Avinash says, "Let us go to the cave and meet that tantric before she goes anywhere else." Avinash and Arif go to the cave. There was a cave inside which a tantric was sitting. As soon as they reach the tantric, she opens her eyes. "Why have you brought this child here? This child is cursed. If he cries, we all can die. We know Tantric G. That is why we want to ask you, how will his curse be broken? We do not want to put the lives of more innocents in danger. This child was to be sacrificed, but he broke the ritual by crying. If you are cursed by this, then his curse will be broken only by sacrificing. Someone will have to sacrifice himself by taking the curse of this child on himself. Only then this curse will be broken. Tantric, is there no other way? There is a way. You kill this child. Then this game of death will stop. Anyway, a whole village has been wiped out because of this child. No, we will never do this. He is my son. You just tell us the ritual. We will go from here. Take the things written in the book of this child's grandmother and the mantra of that book. Everything is written in it. Avinash and Arif come home. They come home and start deciding. What can we do now? We have no other option. Because of his grandmother, this child is also suffering today. We have to do something. You have brought that book with you. Yes, I will bring it right now. Hearing all this, Arif feels very bad. Papa, am I bad? No, son, you are not bad at all. The bad ones are the people of this world who are greedy and selfish. She brings the book in which many rituals were written. Avinash was worried. He was not able to understand what to do. Avinash, what should we do? Just like the morning sun rises, you both should also bloom. I will shine like the moon at night in your mind and thoughts. I cannot let you people die. Let's start the Soya Razum. I will give my life. Take care of yourself and Arif. They both take Arif to that village again and keep his grandmother's Raka and Kali in the same way as his grandmother used to keep. And they start the rituals. It has been 10 years since our marriage. We have no child. Arif is a gift from the god for us. Listen carefully, Soya. When this ritual is over, burn this book and take Arif with you. Go somewhere far away. Avinash, I love you very much. She starts the mantra. A shadow comes out of Arif and goes into Avinash. Avinash dies and he disappears like steam. Ah, you killed me. Yeah. Papa has gone. Don't blame me, son. He has not gone anywhere. He is always with us and you. And inside me, he takes Arif's curse on himself and sacrifices himself. She burns that book and takes Arif from there. Avinash's sacrifice shows love for the family. We all should have a heart like Avinash, and Arif should live forever. It was 12 o'clock at night. A wet grave was visible on the silent ground of the cemetery. Tantra mantra items were kept near it, and Rajni was sitting in the middle of it. Tears were falling down from his eyes. My child, I will not let you go from this world so easily. You will have to come back. The sound of dry leaves caused by strong winds was repeatedly hitting his ears and disturbing the peace, and sometimes a dog came near him and started barking. He removed a plate kept near him. In this plate there was a black-colored chicken. He picked up the chicken, and with the other hand he picked up a knife and slit its neck. The blood of that chicken started falling drop by drop on the grave. After some time, the soil on the grave started rising on its own, and a child's hand came out of the grave. After a few days, Mayank returned to his city with his sister Manisha. I was also finding it difficult to spend every moment without you. Oh, where's this Deepu? He did not even come to welcome me. He is in his room. It seems Deepu is angry with me. Saying this, Mayank went to Deepu's room. Deepu was sitting on his bed watching TV at this time. He was not paying any attention to his father. What has happened to Deepu? There have been changes in our Deepu in the last 2 months. Don't worry. By 11 o'clock at night, everyone had gone to their respective rooms to sleep. Manisha was also sleeping in her room when she heard Deepu's voice. Pishacha pate balam dehi main, Pishacha pate balam dehi main. This voice seems to be Deepu's. She got up from her bed and came out of the room. The voice was coming from Deepu's room. She slowly went towards Deepu's room. On reaching the door, she could clearly hear Deepu's voice. Deepu, what are you doing at this time of the night, son? There was no response from Deepu. She opened the door, and seeing the scene in front of her, her head started spinning. Deepu was sitting on the ground with several candles lit around him. In front of him, there was a black bird which looked like an eagle. It was in a very bad condition. Its neck was cut, and the way blood was oozing out of it, Deepu's lips were also covered with blood. As if Deepu had drunk its blood. Oh God! Just then Deepu stared at him angrily. Deepu's face was looking as if he was a corpse, and his eyes were glowing red. If you say anything about me to anyone, then the way I have drunk this bird's phone, I will drink yours too. Hearing this, Manisha's heart was shaken. She put her hand on her mouth and suppressed the scream coming out of her. And she ran to her room. She closed the door with a bang and started taking deep breaths. Her heart was beating very fast. She composed herself and lay down her sheet on the bed. In the morning when they were having breakfast, Manisha was looking scared. Manisha, what happened? Why are you so quiet? On this, she made an excuse and said, It is nothing, Bia. I was getting tense thinking about tomorrow's meeting. Don't get tensed, everything will be fine. Rajni, why has Deepu not woken up yet? Hey, he will wake up. You start, Deepu's son, come, your breakfast is about to be ready. Hearing her, Deepu came out of his room and sat on the chair without saying anything to anyone. Good morning, son, Deepu. Deepu did not reply to this. He was looking at Manisha, who was already scared of the incident of the previous night. Deepu, you also start eating. Saying this, Mayank slid the plate of sandwiches to her eyes, but Deepu did not even touch it. My son's breakfast is ready. Rajni kept a dish in front of him. Deepu removed the lid from that dish. There was chicken kept inside it. Deepu quickly picked up the leg piece and started eating. Mayank was surprised to see this. Deepu used to run away from the smell of meat. Since when did he start eating meat? That too for breakfast. Don't think that he is our son. He eats sweets all 3 times a day. Deepu's changed behavior. And on top of that, Rajni taking all these things lightly was making Mayank feel very strange, and Manisha was in mourning since last night. In the afternoon, Manisha was helping Rajni in cooking. Rajni was heating oil and Manisha was cutting onions. Manisha's mind was still going on about Deepu's words. That's why, due to lack of attention, she got a cut on her finger. Yes, and blood started dripping from it on her head. Hey Manisha, what are you doing? You wait. I will bring the first aid box." Saying this, Rajni went out of the kitchen, and the next moment Deepu came there. Manisha got scared seeing him. He was looking at Manisha's cut finger in a strange way. Manisha was taking steps back in fear of him, and he stepped forward and reached close to Shilpa. The same place where Manisha's blood was falling, and he licked Manisha's fallen blood. Seeing this, Manisha's heart was shaken, and she ran away from there quickly. Deepu started licking all the blood, and his eyes turned red. Manisha was not able to gather courage to tell Mayank this. She went to her room in the evening and sat on the bed. Then she heard someone's footsteps, and she started looking towards the door. On the other side of the door, she heard Deepu's terrifying voice. "Auntie, ever since I have tasted your blood, I am not able to control myself. I want to drink your blood to my heart's content." Hearing this, Manisha's body started trembling. She put her hand on her mouth and suppressed her voice and started crying. In the long run, Mayank was still thinking about his child Deepu. "I think I should show Deepu to a doctor. He was not so quiet. Why do I feel that Rajni is hiding something from me?" Around 11 o'clock at night, Manisha was sleeping in a deep sleep when the door of her room opened. After some time, she started feeling that someone is biting her hand. She opened her eyes and found Deepu sitting near her head and sucking blood from Manisha's finger. "Come, Deepu, give me." "Yes." Manisha asked him to give her hand. "Auntie, your blood and flesh are both very tasty. I can't take you like this." A painful scream came out of Manisha's mouth.
Please like and subscribe
Yes.
to our channel.
This is Manisha's voice. Mayank and Rajni reached Manisha's room, and what they saw there filled their hearts with fear. Deepu's body was completely destroyed. Manisha was lying on the bed. Oh God! Mayank tried to save Manisha from him. Mayank and Rajni took Manisha out of the room and locked the room from outside. Mayank was now looking at Rajni with questioning eyes. Questions were arising in his mind. "Now it's enough. How did our child become a devil? Tell me, what are you hiding from me?" Now Rajni gathered courage and started telling Mayank the truth. 2 months ago you had gone out with Manisha for business. The next day after you left, Deepu went out to play with some children. The children reached the place while playing, and Deepu had an accident with a car. He died there, and I was very shocked. I was not even conscious enough to call you and other relatives to inform them about Deepu's death. Deepu died at the age of 5. That is why the people of the locality decided that his body will not be cremated on a pyre but will be buried. When they buried Deepu, I came to my senses. I had heard a lot about Kachcha Kalua Sadhana, through which we can bring any child back to life and get our work done through him. But I did not try this on my own child and brought him back to life. But after he came back to life, there were many changes in Deepu, about which you already know. According to the method, Kachcha Kalua will be out of your control one day or the other, but I did not know that it will happen so soon. Mayank's eyes were wide open with surprise. He couldn't believe that the Deepu whom he thought was his own child was actually a raw Kalua, and it was his mother who made him like this. Before he could say anything, the door of the room opened. Deepu came from the front and pounced on Manisha. Manisha said, "Wow, I want more blood. My thirst has increased after drinking your blood. I want more blood." He was trying to bite Manisha's neck. Manisha's eyes were rolling upwards. Then Mayank took out the trident of Sherawali Mata from the temple in the house and quickly hit the waist of the raw Kalua. He separated from Manisha, screaming terribly, and fell on the ground. "Yes, yes!" His voice was very scary, and both of them had also strengthened their hearts. They had accepted that this was not their Deepu. He was a raw Kalua. Both of them kept watching this. In a short time, he died completely and his body became like a clay doll. They took him outside and threw him in the field behind the house, and then they hugged each other and started crying, remembering Deepu, who was once close to their hearts.